We got freeze-dried broth that we put water in there, hot water.
It could use some more.
Yeah, it's very diluted.
I think the ratio might be 1 to 1. That looks better. It's not there yet.
No, not there. It's still diluted. Like it's very. It's a weak broth.
4. Yeah, those aren't really real. Okay, Penelope, do you want to taste it?
How's it, Penelope?
Tastes like broth.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, there we go. That's better. 4 tablespoons.
It's kind of nice to have like instant broth so early in the morning. We have 8 dozen eggs and we're a small family of 3. That's a lot for us. And so all of our egg layers have started laying. So I want to save this harvest of eggs for the winter time when our chickens have slowed down on the laying process. We have a new method of preserving, and that is our Harvest Right freeze dryer. This is our Harvest Right freeze dryer. This is, as you can see, it's quite a big machine, so that's why we put it down here into the basement. So what it's going to do is first freeze your food, and then it's going to suck out all of the moisture out of your food. The freeze dryer comes with 4 trays. You can purchase additional trays and the lids, which the lids can also be used as trays. These are food grade. But one thing about the trays that I was pleasantly surprised is these are not like cheap aluminum flimsy trays. These are stainless steel heavy duty trays that the food can fit on. So I'm gonna press start, and then it's gonna cool the chamber for 15 minutes. In the meantime, I could be scrambling more eggs. Okay, so this setup is just temporary. We plan on renovating this basement, or this part of the basement, into a working pantry for preserving food and storing food that we preserve. And now this is a great addition to our working pantry to help us preserve food. So I think we will need a table space and then its own separate table. But for now, this is just kind of the setup that we have. And then until we actually build us a pantry down here in the basement. All right, quick. These are gonna be filled with liquid and I don't wanna be spilling. I'm just going to put the trays halfway in and pour them right into here. Now I poured them into a quart-sized mason jar, and then we'll just pour them right in here. Yeah, a quart size will fit. And this is about 2 dozen eggs. So now I'm just gonna carefully slide it all the way back. And if you do accidentally spill, you can remove all of these things and clean it. Because that was one of my concerns. I was like, oh my goodness, what happens if you spill? I'm putting it in raw. So when it comes out, it's still technically going to be raw egg. So when I go to reconstitute it, when I add water, it's just gonna be like exactly how it is now, and I'll still need to cook it and season it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is close the door. I can essentially just walk away for the next 24 hours and it's gonna do what it needs to do. But I do have a little bit of egg mixture here, and so what I wanna do is get one of these trays already freezing, because if you notice, it's freezing here. So if I freeze it in my freezer, I can bypass stage right here and shave off a couple of hours, like maybe 10 hours or so. So what I want to do is put this into the freezer first and then pour it in, so that we don't have to carry a tray full of liquid. All right, it's been about 24 hours and a little tiny bit over. So it says here that the process is complete. Ooh, there's a bubble in there. So the trays are warm, but there is a whole layer of ice in here from when it froze. Okay, so this is raw egg. We put it in as raw egg, and it's still coming out as raw egg, but it just has a different texture to it. Let's see. You can see the texture here. is freeze dried. You don't want to eat this like this because this is raw egg. So you'll want to cook it just like you would a regular egg once you reconstitute it with water. But for now, let's just get it all into a mason jar. Actually, we're not going to put it in a mason jar. We are going to put it in our Vitamix blender. Any blender would do. And then we're actually going to turn it into a powder first before we put it into a mason jar. You can see now this has like a powder, a fine powder consistency, and then once we're done, we can put it into, we can try and make an egg out of it. We've got 2 tablespoons of egg powder and 2 tablespoons of water. I guess we don't need a whisk. Yeah, it looks like eggs. So remember, we put it in as raw eggs. We're getting raw eggs. And look at, it's like kind of sticky like egg yolks. You know how like you scramble eggs and it has that little consistency. This is cooking up just like an egg. I'm gonna go first.
Right. Taste test. Astronaut food.
It tastes just like a scrambled egg.
But it does taste like an egg, yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, it doesn't taste any different. The texture is the same as a normal egg that I would cook up anyway.
Yeah.
We have 2.5 quarts of egg powder, which translates roughly about 8 dozen eggs is what we put in. So hopefully this winter time, when our hens have decreased on their laying, or maybe they might stop laying, or you never know, something could happen to our chickens, we've got eggs. So because I plan on using them this winter for baking and for making breakfasts, I'm not going to put these in the Mylar bags with an oxygen absorber. I'm just gonna leave them here in these, and they'll be fine in the mason jars as long as the lid is kept tight. So they'll be fine. They'll have a good shelf life for a really long time, maybe even a year or 2. But if I wanted them to last like 25 years, that's when you can put them in the Mylar bags and put them with an oxygen absorber, which is really hard for me to say. And that would make the shelf life last even longer. So if you were thinking like long-term storage, maybe you had like a crazy abundance of eggs, or you got a really good sale at the grocery store on eggs, and you wanted to preserve them for a really long time, you can. That is an option.
If you guys want to know more about this Harvest Right freeze dryer, we're going to leave a link down below so you guys can check that out. Scared of Fuzzy Muggins. Good morning. Bernice. Good morning, Bernice. We had bought 3 months worth of feed, and we're about there at the 3 months. It's nice buying the tote because, you know, you have to worry about going to the store and buying another bag of feed. It's a lot cheaper if you buy the tote and you buy in bulk. All right, good morning, guys. It's such a beautiful day today. It's actually flannel weather mornings. Flannel mornings is what I like to call them. Zeke, Elvira, they're not having babies yet. It's one of those things where if they do have babies, they do have babies. If they don't, they don't. They've been here a couple weeks, and this is all they've done. You know, they just graze. They're coonies. They just graze on grass like cows. And if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Jason. This is my wife Lorraine and a daughter Penelope, and we just show you our journey here of moving from Los Angeles area to the mountains of North Carolina. You know, we were on 1.5 acres and now we're on 14. So it's a completely different ball game when you go that route, right? From city, 1.5 acres, 14. We have very hard ground here. There's high grass right here, guys. We had chickens here multiple times.
Yeah.
So that helped. What are you guys eating? You're always chewing on something.
All right. Come on.
Come on. Fresh grass.
Watch out, there's a pig behind you. Move it, Zeke. No, Zeke, you stay in there.
At this point, they're basically our pets. We got pigs for pets, which I never thought I would say. But here they are. Well, if anything, they do eat poison ivy. You know, they do clear out some areas.